Hello everyone, this is Ejaz Ali Khan, and today we are going to talk about abstraction. Abstraction in Java. Why do we use abstraction? What is the need of abstraction? And how to achieve abstraction in Java. So, without doing further delay, let's move to the notes and start learning. Okay, yeah. So here, as you can see, abstraction is an OOPS concept, that is object-oriented programming concept that helps us achieving the data abstraction. अब ये data abstraction क्या है? What is data abstraction? So data abstraction refers to the process of hiding low-level details and displaying only important information. So we don't want our user to get overwhelmed by all this huge unnecessary information, unnecessary complexities, right? So let me give you a real world example here. See, like this. As you can see, people do not think of a car as a set of tens and thousands of different individual parts. जब भी आपको कोई कार बोलता है, you don't think about it like it will have multiple engines. It will have sorry, not multiple engines. It will have engine and it will have all those what gear shaft, all those functions going on, throttle, all those kind of things, right? I don't know even car has throttle or not. Okay, so you think of it like this. Yeah, I have a car. I will use the steering. I will use that. I will have that clutch pad, the accelerator, the gearbox. I will drive it from point A to point B. That's what comes to your mind whenever someone tells you about a car. So that's what is written here. This abstraction allows people to use a car to drive to grocery store without being overwhelmed by the complexity of parts that form the car. Okay. You don't need to worry about these things. What's happening there? You don't need to worry about that. You just need to drive it happily. Okay. That's what abstraction does. Abstraction removes the layer of complexity. Okay. So instead, they are free to utilize, okay, they can ignore the details of how the engine, transmission, braking systems work. They don't need to bother with that. Instead, they're free to utilize the object as a whole. Okay, so abstraction is achieved with the help of abstract classes and interfaces. So this point is very much important. So abstraction is achieved with the help of abstract classes and interfaces. So let's look into it one by one. So abstract classes and abstract methods. What is abstract classes? So abstraction can be implemented only if we inherit the class from another class. So inside the abstract class, when we create an abstract method, we don't have to provide the body of the method. So if we don't provide body of a method, then that method is called an abstract method. Okay. And whenever we make an abstract method, we have to make the class an abstract class. Just remember that. You know what do you mean by abstract? See, let me Google it up. Abstract meaning. So abstract means existing in thought or as an, okay, let me share as well. Uh, let me share my screen. Okay, so abstraction means existing in thought or as an idea, but not having a physical or concrete existence. So abstract method का मतलब क्या हुआ? It will have what method signature. It will have the name of the method, the parameter that it is taking, but it won't have the implementation. It won't have the body. Okay, so the body will be provided by the child. Whichever class will inherit that abstract class, it will have to provide the body. Okay, let me show you an example. Let me give you an example which will make it super clear. Let's say let's say there is a class called car. Okay, so within that car class, what we can have is, let's say we have a normal method like void run. So whenever this run is called, it will say south what car is running. Okay, but let's say there is another method. There is another method like void print speed. Print speed. But what happens is for different kinds of cars, the speed will be different. No, let's say I create another class like supercar. So for supercar, let me extend it. I want my supercar to have all those methods that's present inside the car class. Extends car. So inside this super class method, I need to have all those methods. But, and let's say I create another class as well. Vintage car. So this vintage car also will extend our car class, and it will also have a different kind of speed limit, right? The run method will be same. Whenever run method will call either up in the vintage car or on the supercar, it will give the same output like car is running. But what I need is I want to print different speeds for the different cars. For supercar it will be more, for vintage car it will be less, like that. Okay, so what I can do is I can simply remove this method body. I won't provide method body here. I will just leave it like this. But whenever I don't provide method body, what I told you, the method will become an abstract method. So you have to write it explicitly. Abstract. Now see, abstract. Now, as soon as you make the method abstract, what you have to do? You have to make the class also abstract. See, now the problem is gone, but here it is saying that two related problems. What? Let's say this vintage car, it is extending. The supercar, it is also extending. Let's see what it is saying. It is saying that class vintage car must be declared abstract or implement abstract method. So we have to implement the method here. Whenever another second class comes into play and it extends an abstract class, it has to provide the implementations. Because here, as you can see, logically dekho na, it doesn't have any kind of implementation for print speed. And now let's say whenever for abstract class nobody can create an object of this class. Remember that for abstract class you cannot create an object, but for this class you can create. No, let's see, you create an object of vintage car, and someone um, calls this method like print speed. Then what will be the output? Nothing, because it doesn't have any body. That's why you need to provide the body here. Let's implement the method, and let's print like south. What? My speed limit is 150 mile per hour. Okay, see. And now for supercar also we have to write a void print speed. See, it is overriding, right? It is overriding. And print speed south, my speed limit is, let's say, 250 mph. Okay, so let's create a driver class like a main class. It will be the user. Let's say it is our user. And wait, and inside this main method, let's say our user is given a car C1 equals new a supercar. We can do it right like this, right? Parent class reference and child class object, right? And he has given another class, another car C2 equals new vintage car. Okay. Apologies for the mistake of spelling. That's vintage. The T is missing, but that's okay. So our user has been given two cars, C1 and C2. So let's say our user can call C1 run, and our user can call C2 dot run as well. So what will be the output for both of these classes? The output will be same. What our user can see, the car is running. That will be the output. But let's say I call C1 dot print speed, and same thing I can call C2 dot print speed. Then what will be the output? For C1, the output should be what? My speed limit is 250 mile per hour. And for C2, it should be 150 mile per hour. So let's see. Okay. So you will be able to see what's happening here. See, my speed limit is 250, my speed limit is 150. So what's happening is we are hiding, we're putting a layer of abstraction for our user. Whenever he comes to this car class, he won't be able to see what's happening inside this print speed method. We are implementing it differently according to our wish. We are implementing it in differently in this vintage class. We are implementing differently in this supercar class. Okay, we can create as many classes, as many cars we want, and we can implement it differently according to our need. Okay, so that's the power of abstraction. So that's the one way of abstraction, that using this abstract class and abstract method. Okay, let me again go back to the notes. Okay, so abstraction can be implemented only if we inherit the class from another class. Inside the abstract class, when we create an abstract method, we don't have to provide the body of the method. The method should be provided by the class that will extend this abstract class. It helps us achieve partial abstraction. Okay, why partial abstraction? Tell me. Because see, our abstract class, it can also contain concrete methods. No, see this method, it's the normal concrete method. It has the implementation, so it is partially implemented class, this public class car, because this method is implemented and this one is unimplemented. Okay. Okay, so note, abstract method, a method without an implementation. Whenever we don't provide any implementation to a method, then that method is called an abstract method. Okay, so there is another way of achieving abstraction. I'm fumbling. So there is another way of achieving abstraction in Java as well. So that is interfaces, through interfaces. So interface in Java is mainly used to achieve abstraction. We use implements keyword to implement an interface. It helps us achieve 100% abstraction. Okay, so let me take you to the IDE and let's close all tabs. Close this one as well. Okay, let's say there is an interface. It's a Java class interface. Let's say I'm running what? I'm running a lodge or any kind of hotel. So I am making a class for tourists. Okay, so this is an interface, and I don't know anything about the methods that I'm going to create. Let's say I'm going to create void greet in Hindi, but I have no idea how to greet in Hindi. Sorry, how this method works. I have no idea. So what I can do, I can leave the implementation upon the child class as well, right? I will say that I won't provide the body, whichever class will implement, not extend. इंटरफेस को implement किया जाता है. an interface always get implemented. So whichever class will implement this tourist interface, he will have to provide the implementation of this greet in Hindi method. So what I can do, I can simply leave it like this. I won't provide any kind of body here. And even if I try to provide body, it will start giving me error, because within an interface you can put only abstract classes. That's why I told you that within by using interface you can achieve 100% abstraction. Okay, I'm not talking about that default and all those default methods, uh, because you know what, those are special kind of methods which we will talk about that later. But right now just remember that within an interface we can put only abstract methods. So we have to remove this body, and let's say create another method, greet in English. Okay, so now what I can do is, let me create another class, tourist class. Let me create what, let me create what I can give the name. Naming is too difficult. I can visitor class. Okay, so it will now what, it will extend, right? It will extend, right? What? No, it won't extend. Extend keyword only works with classes. You can extend classes, but you cannot extend any interface. In order to what, use all these methods inside this visitor class, what we can do, we have to implement tourist interface. Okay, now as soon as we implement this tourist interface, it will start giving me error that you have to override all those methods. You have to provide the implementation. So let me implement the methods. Let me implement the methods. Okay, so I can shout namaste, and here I can say, oh my god, shout what, hello, right? So now what will happen is, let's say I create what, these two method, I overridden these two methods. Now from this main method, main class, let's say I, let me comment this out. Okay, yeah, let me comment this out. Array, yeah. And then after that, what I will do is, let me do let me create a visitor class, like visitor object, like tourist, tourists t1 equals new visitor. Okay, I can do it like this. After doing it like this, what will happen, just same way you did that, what, parent class reference, child class object, same. Now I can call t1 dot greet in English, I can call t1 dot greet in Hindi. So see, whenever I will run, it will provide me hello and then namaste. See, hello and namaste. So now you must be thinking that abstract classes, abstract methods, and this interface, both are working similarly. And why are we using interfaces and why are we using abstract classes? When to use what thing? You need to know the differences between those two. So that's why, let's see. Okay, let's see. For interfaces, interface will say, I only know the method names that I will require for my job to be done, but I don't know about anything how to implement it. You have to provide body for those methods. Okay, so interface will say that, and implementer will say, sure, I will definitely provide body to all of your methods, but in my way. There's been a contract. Okay, there's been a contract in between interface and implementer. Implementer has to provide all the implementation of the methods. And for abstract classes, what it will say that some methods I know or some methods I don't know. You can put all the abstract methods as well, but an abstract class can have multiple kind of methods, some concrete methods which have the body, or some abstract method which doesn't have the body. Okay, so implementing an interface is not that different from creating an abstract method. So creating an abstract class and abstract method, sorry, creating an abstract class and abstract. So what is the main difference between abstract class and interface? It is very important. See, abstract keyword is used to create abstract class, while interface keyword is used to create an interface. Okay, abstract class is implemented using extends keyword because it is a class, and whenever you are extending another class you have to use extends keyword. But whenever you are implementing another interface you have to use implements keyword. That's very much important. And then an abstract class can extend another class or interface, but an interface can only extend another interface. So abstract class, don't bother too much about it. You'll get to know about it in future. So can provide implementation of interface. So an abstract class can extend or implement, right? So whenever it will implement another interface, it can provide the implementation of that interface as well. So now as it cannot extend another class, so it cannot provide, sorry, it cannot provide implementation of the interface. Okay, it cannot provide implementation because an interface can only have the abstract methods. So no way in the world it can provide the interface, in no way in the world it can provide the implementation. Guys, I'm so sorry, I don't know why I'm fumbling. So now here it does not support multiple inheritance. What is multiple inheritance? Multiple inheritance means simultaneously extending two different classes. It cannot do that. But interface, it supports multiple inheritance. It can it can extend two interfaces at one time. Okay, so moving to next, it has abstract and non-abstract methods. It can have abstract and non-abstract methods, but here all of the methods are default, static, and abstract methods. Okay, about this default and static, we will discuss in further lectures, but right now just remember all of these methods are abstract methods which do not have any kind of body. Okay, so that's it from my side. And if you face any kind of difficulties, any kind of issues, you can reach out to me. Okay, thank you so much.